Hello everyone. I hope you all are good and safe, and you all must have attempted AIET 4 test. So in this lecture, what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss AIET 4 G questions. Okay. So I have selected some important questions that I feel like you may have doubt in. So we will be going through those questions. Let's start with the very first question. Okay. So very first question is on your screen, and this is the very first question of your test paper. Now, uh, we are asked which graph is the graph between 1 by Vn and 1 by U for a concave mirror, right? So even in class 10th, you all must have studied what is the relation between V and U for a mirror, right? Where V is the image distance, U is the object distance, right? So if we have to talk about graph between one thing and another, we need to know equation or relation between those two things. Okay. So what is the relation between V and U? We already know 1 by V plus 1 by U equal to what? 1 by F. Okay. F is a constant, right? This is the focal length of mirror. Okay. Now let's just see here. 1 by V is along the y-axis. So I am considering it as y equal to minus 1 by U. 1 by U is along x-axis. So I'm writing that as minus 1 into x plus 1 by f. And this is a constant, right? So this is basically a graph of y versus x, where y equal to minus x plus c. Done. And you already know how to draw the graph of y equal to mx plus c. So if m is positive, slope will be positive. Here m is minus 1, that is negative. So slope is negative. First thing, and this is your intercept, y-intercept, and here y-intercept is positive, right? So the graph should have slope positive, negative. This is slope positive, so this can't be true. Here slope is negative. It is making angle greater than 90 degree with the positive direction of x-axis. So here slope is negative. Let's see what is the y-intercept. यहाँ पे आप देखो y-intercept is also positive. So this seems like very much true. So this should be true actually. You can check here also. In this case, y-intercept is positive, but slope is what? Positive. And slope should be negative in our case. That is why correct answer for this question should be what? It should be B. Okay? Chalo. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question is your, there is a particle moving on a straight line. Its velocity is given. What is the total distance covered from 0 to 6x? So velocity is given, right? And जैसे velocity is given as what? 8 minus 2t. So v equal to minus 2t plus 8. Now, if we are going to solve it by using equations, like we will break it v into dx by dt and something, and we will go for it, then we can also do it graphically. And that is more convenient here. जैसे आप देखो, मैं graphically करके दिखाती हूँ, क्योंकि you all must have tried to solve it through equations, I feel. So let's do it graphically. If you're going to plot the graph of V versus T, this is again y is equal to mx plus c type of graph. Y-intercept is 8. So somewhere here is 8. And its slope is negative. So up aise bana. So this is the graph, right? So we have to calculate distance covered from 0 to 6 seconds. So if we are going to see 0 to 6 seconds, here this is 0 and this is how much? 6. Okay? Suppose 0 to 6 seconds. Now where the velocity will become 0, let's put the point here. So 8 minus 2t, 8 minus 2t is 0 where t equal to 4 seconds. So that point on the x-axis, on the time axis should be equal to how much? 4 seconds. Now if you're going to calculate the area, because area under VT curve gives us what? Change in displacement, right? So here from 0 to 4 seconds, what is change in displacement? That is equal to the area half into 4 into 8. So how much we are going to get? We are going to get it equal to 16 meter. Okay. Now from 4 to 6, we need to again check. Okay, sorry. So let's check with that. Okay. So let's calculate the area of this portion. So if we are going to calculate, let's call its area to be A1 and its area to be A2. Okay. So A1 is equal to this. Now if you're going to calculate A2, it will be equal to how much? Half into its base, 6 minus 4, that is 2, its height. how much will be the height here? If you see carefully, this is time t equal to 6 seconds. So try to see at time t equal to 6 seconds, what will be the velocity? Okay. So what will be the velocity at time t equal to 6 seconds? If you're going to put it here, 8 minus 2 into 6. So this is 8 minus 12, that is equal to minus 4. So this is modulus, if I'm going to write, this is 4, and its answer is 4. Okay, minus 4. We are suggested to calculate areas with proper sign convention. Okay, so A1 is 16 meter, A2 is minus 4 meter. If we are asked displacement, we will say displacement here will be equal to how much? Displacement will be equal to 16 plus minus 4. Okay, so that will be equal to 12 meter. But if we are asked distance, in that case, we neglect the sign and we add the areas. We add their modulus, right? So 16 plus 4 and it will be equal to 20 meters. Then, so correct answer will be what? D. So here A I have written actually. This one I have written for displacement, sorry. In your question, it was asked distance covered. So that will be equal to how much? 20 meter. Displacement will be 12 meter. Okay. Now let's look at another question. There is a glass window screen whose inclination with the vertical can be changed as mounted on a car. My drawing is very big, as I used to keep on saying. Let's draw the car. So this is your car. Okay, ये car. Now suppose this is moving forward and this is moving forward with what speed? It is moving forward with a speed 2 meter per second, right? Now what is happening? There is a wind shield here done, and the wind shield is making an angle. Wind shield on car will look something like this. Okay? And this wind shield is making an angle of 5 with the vertical. Alpha, say alpha. Here it is given alpha. Okay? Now, at what angle alpha with the vertical should the wind screen be placed so that raindrops falling vertically downward with velocity this strike the wind screen perpendicular. Okay. So what is happening? A car is moving forward on the road and it is raining and rain is falling downward like this with a speed how much? 6 meter per second. So if you're a person standing on ground at rest, you will see raindrop is falling downward with a speed 6 meter per second. But what's happening? According to the question, to wind shield, this raindrop will appear to fall like this. Okay. And what is the meaning of this? Meaning of this is, velocity of rain with respect to ground. Velocity of rain with respect to ground is how much? 6 meter per second in which direction? Minus j cap. Vertically downward, I'm taking that as minus j cap. Now, with respect to wind shield, done. So, velocity of rain with respect to wind shield is in which direction? This is in this direction. Okay, done. According to question, it is given, and it is asking that if wind is striking wind shield perpendicular to the wind shield, then what should be the value of alpha? Let's see now. ठीक है, तो ध्यान से देखो, तुम लोगों ने 11th क्लास में इस चीज को पढ़ा होगा. अब आप देखो, मैं विंड शील्ड को सिर्फ बना देन दिस इज आवर विंड शील्ड एंड इट्स दिस एंगल इज अल्फा. नाउ what is the velocity of wind shield in the forward direction? Because it's mounted on the car, so it will also have velocity same as that of car. So 2 meter per second. Now we have to calculate VRW, velocity of rain with respect to wind shield. How we will find it out? Just write two things here. First thing, VRG को आप लिख लो, that is equal to minus 6 J cap, and write velocity of wind shield with respect to the ground. That is velocity of car with respect to the ground. And this will be equal to how much? This will be equal to 2 meter per second. In which direction? I cap ले लूँगा, क्योंकि इस direction को मैंने I cap माना. ठीक है. Now we have to calculate VRW, velocity of rain with respect to wind shield. How we will do this? Very easy it is. जैसे यहाँ पे देखो, इस चीज को क्या लिखोगे आप? इस चीज को लिखोगे VR minus VG. And इस चीज को आप क्या लिख सकते हो? VW minus VG. So if we are going to subtract these two, we will get VR minus VW, and that is equal to VRW. So For calculating VRW, what we need to do, we need to subtract these two. Let's do it now vectorially. So VRG minus VWG. VRG direction is where it is falling like this. And VWG direction is where it is in originally in this direction, but we are subtracting. So minus VWG, it is in this direction. And addition of these two should be equal to VRW, and this should fall perpendicular to the wind sill according to question. Done. So it should look like this. Now VRG is equal to how much? VRG is equal to minus 6 meter per second. So magnitude में लिख रही हूँ 6 meter per second, and this is equal to 2 meter per second. Now let's see what will be this angle. This angle is angle between what? Perpendicular to the wind sill, and this is horizontal. And this is angle between what? Vertical line and along the wind sill. Okay. So angle, if angle between two lines is alpha, angle between their perpendiculars will also be alpha. So here this line is perpendicular to this, and this line is perpendicular to this. So here this angle will also be alpha. And if this angle is alpha, now you see carefully, there were two vectors. This is 6, this is 2, and this angle is alpha. So tan alpha can be written as what? Tan alpha can be written as 6/2, and that is 3. So alpha will be equal to how much? Tan inverse 3. This is how we solve it, right? Chalo. So correct answer is what? Tan inverse 3. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Now, there are two particles projected vertically upward from point 0, 0 and 1, 0 with uniform velocity 10 meter per second and v meter per second. Okay. Question is like this. One is being thrown at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal, another with 45 degree with the horizontal. Now they are colliding in the air after time t. Okay. And time t is given as something like this. So we have to calculate the value of x. Now let's see how we can do it. So we will use the concept of relative velocity or relative thing to solve this question again. So let's see how we can do it. Just see here, if suppose these two particles are meeting somewhere here. Okay. So somewhere here it is meeting, right? So how much horizontal distance? Let's call it A and let's call it B. So if it is colliding here, then B has traveled this much horizontal distance and A has traveled this much horizontal distance. How much relative horizontal distance they have traveled? So if B has traveled X, then A has traveled 1 plus X, because this distance is 1 meter, it's given. So what is the relative distance that A has covered with respect to B? That is 1 meter. Okay. So if you're going to calculate everything in relative aspect, right? So if I'm going to say ki, what is the relative velocity of A with respect to B? What does it mean? It means velocity of A if we are keeping B at rest. Done. So relative has this meaning. You all must be aware of it. So let's now solve it. So VAB in X direction we will calculate. Done. And VAB in Y direction we will calculate. Okay. For that, let's first write VA. So VA is equal to how much? 10 meter. So 10 cos 30, that is root 3/2 in I cap direction, plus 10 sin 30, that is 10 into half in j cap direction. Okay. Now what is VB? VB is equal to, that is V cos 45, that is V by root 2 I cap plus V by root 2 j cap. So this is the velocity of A and B, individual velocities. Now what will be the velocity of A with respect to B in X direction? So this will be equal to VA minus VB in X direction. So in X direction, VA velocity is how much? 5 root 3. So this is 5 root 3 minus V by root. And what will be their relative velocity in the Y direction? It will be equal to 5 minus V by 2. Okay, these things are there. Now how we will calculate the time? You just see here, initially A is also at, similarly we can also calculate their initial separation. Okay. So initial position, if I talk about, initial position of A is how much? 0 I cap plus 0 j cap. I know initially it is at origin, And what is the initial position of B? That is 1 I cap plus 0 J. Okay. Now, what is the relative position of A with respect to B? So if I talk about relative position of A with respect to B, then it is minus 1 I cap, yani ki it is 1 meter behind B. Done. And if in Y direction we go on to calculate, it will be 0, because initially both are at Y equal to 0. Okay. So initial there, Y separation is 0 and X separation is 1 meter in magnitude. Okay. So if they are colliding, it means they are meeting. It means A is catching up with B. It's only possible if it has covered the relative separation distance, that is 1 meter. Okay. And in Y direction, if they are meeting, it means initially they are at 0 Y separation. Finally, also they should be at 0 Y separation because they are meeting. And so final Y separation will be what? 0. So Y distance covered by individual A and B bodies will be what? Same. तो चलो अब इसको solve कर लेते हैं. I hope you people are getting it. अब देखो Y A कितना होगा, कितना डिस्टेंस कवर करेगा? Y is equal to ut plus half at square का फॉर्मूला लगा लो. So velocity of A in Y direction is how much? It is 10 root 3 by 2, that is 5 root 3 t minus half gt square. What will be YB? It will be equal to 5, sorry, that will be equal to V by root 2t minus half gt square. And then Y and YB should be equal because they are meeting. Initial their Y separation is 0. Finally, they are also meeting. So YA minus YB must be equal to what? 0. It means both the distance covered are equal. If you are going to equate it, this will get cancelled. And you will get V by root 2t is equal to 5 root 3t. So here t will get cancelled. And we are going to get V value, that is 5 root 6. So V value we have got now. Now, if I say they are meeting somewhere, if they are meeting, then in X direction, how much relative distance A has covered? That is X AB will be equal to how much? Minus 1. So therefore, time taken to collide or meet will be equal to what? XAB by VAB. So just put this value now. Now the question is very easy. Okay, you have solved everything. So now if we are going to write it, this is 1. And VAB is equal to how much? 5 root 3. 5 root 3 minus V by root 2. V value is how much? 5 root 6. So that is your equal to how much? So let's see. VAB, X direction में minus करना है ना? So this is 5 actually. Velocity of A in X direction is how much? 5 root 3. Velocity of B in X direction is how much? That is your, sorry, VAB in the X direction is how much? 5 root 3 minus V by root 2. So V value is how much? 5 root 6. So 5 root 6 by what we are going to put? I feel somewhere we have done mistake. YA and the velocity of A in Y direction now we need to write. So here we have written this in X direction. 5 root 3 is velocity in X direction now. So correct it here. यहाँ पे मैंने गलत value put किए हैं. Simply it will be 5t. So this will be your 5t. So here the answer will be how much? 5 root 2. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे आप put करो 5 root 2 divided by root. How much we are going to get? 5 root 2 minus 5. Sorry, 5 root 3 minus 5. So if I write it here, x is t is equal to how much? चलो मैं प्रेस लिख देती हूँ. XAB by VAB है ना? XAB is 1 meter and VAB is how much? VA minus VB in X direction. 5 root 3 minus V by root 2. 5 root 3 minus V. V value is how much? 5 root 2 by root 2. So this is equal to how much? 1 by 5 root 3 minus 2. So if you are going to compare with here, X value will be equal to how much? 3. Okay. So if you understand the question, it's not complicated. You just need to go with the relative thing. If they are meeting, relatively how much distance they will cover? 1 meter. Okay. And in Y direction, how much distance they will cover? Equal distance, right? And these two concepts we need to use to solve the question. Okay. I hope it is. Now let's do this question. We should be very much comfortable with using free body diagram, है ना? क्योंकि questions from mechanics also come. Some questions you will get from here. Now, a system consisting of a man on platform is in equilibrium. Okay, so this person is in equilibrium. Mass of man and platform are equal. Okay, platform is in equilibrium. So whole system is in equilibrium. Okay, there are two massless strings, one attached to fixed support, while other string is pulled by a man resting on platform. Find the ratio of tension in left string to the tension in right string. So what should be the approach? Very first thing that you need to do is write the FP. Identify which force will act where. First task. तो अब आप यहाँ ध्यान से देखो, मैं बताती हूँ. How many strings are here? One string तो हमें ये दिख रहा है. और तुम लोग पढ़े होगे मैकेनिक्स में, if there is a single string, tension throughout will be same. So whatever tension is here, same tension will be here and same tension will be here. है ना? And this is a different string, here tension will be different. Second thing you all must have studied, tension always acts away from the body. Okay? So this string will apply tension on the platform, away from the platform. So isko le lo T1 and here tension le lo T2, always away from body. Okay? Now, if you concentrate on, like, this is a platform of mass M, so like force due to gravity will act and it will act through the center. मैंने center सही से नहीं लिया था, इसलिए delete किया. अब यहाँ पे देखो आप, mg will act in the downward direction, right? Now this person is also standing on the platform. So if you are standing on the platform, what you will do? You will push platform down, and Newton's third law, according to that, platform will push you up. Done. So platform will feel a force in the downward direction because of this person, and in return this person will feel force in the upward direction. So that we will break individually. So let's write FPD first of the man and then of platform. ठीक है, तो चलो, क्योंकि हमें टेंशन निकालने हैं, we need to write FPD, we need to write equation. Since this is an equilibrium, equilibrium means net force acting will be zero both on platform and the person, and also net torque acting will be zero both on platform and the person, because what is they are in equilibrium. ठीक है, तो चलो एक एक करके लिखते हैं. सबसे पहले मैंने पर्सन का लिया, यहाँ पे मैंने लिख दिया ऑलरेडी, because drawing the diagram is a hell lot of task for me actually. That is why I've got it done already. Now, if you see, this is the person, right? So person was standing here, and there was a string going from here to here like this. So I always said you tension will always act away from the body and tension will act away. T1. Okay, so T1 is away from the person. This is the person FPD. Okay. Now N1 will act in the upward direction. I told you mg of person in the downward direction. And if this person is in rest, total force in the upward direction will be equal to total force in the downward direction. So N1 plus T1 will be equal to Nc. Now let's write the FBD of platform. तो अब आप देखो प्लेटफॉर्म क्या था, दो स्ट्रिंग से कनेक्टेड था, एक यहाँ था यहाँ. सो T1 T2 normal reaction of the person, N1 downward direction. Also platform has certain mass, so acceleration, gravitational force in the downward direction. If we are good, now this platform is also in rest, so here net force will be zero and also net torque will be zero. Okay. Now how you can solve it? Just translational equilibrium के लिए net force zero होने चाहिए. So T1 plus T2 will be equal to N1 plus Ng. Total upward force equal to what? Total downward force. ठीक है? But we need to calculate relation between T1 and T2. But we have here four variables. You can see four variables are there. जैसे यहाँ पे आप देखो N1 plus T1, एक इक्वेशन हमें मिला ये, और दूसरा इक्वेशन हमें क्या मिला? दूसरा इक्वेशन हमें मिला ये. But with these two equations, we can't find out relation between T1 and T2 because we have N1, M, T1, T2. Four things. जैसे यहाँ पे देखो, अगर मैं यहाँ पे लिखूं, so N1 plus T1 is equal to Mg. Can we, from these two equations, can we find out relation between T1 and T2? No. We need at least one more equation to find out relation between T1 and T2. And to find out exact value of T1 and T2, we need four equations. है ना? Done. So let's write another equation. Another equation क्या लिख सकते हैं? We can talk about rotational equilibrium of the platform. तो देखो ये क्वेश्चन डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, मैंने स्टेप बाय स्टेप डिस्कस किया है, सो दैट यू कैन फील मोर कंफर्टेबल. डोंट थिंक लाइक इट्स वेरी मच कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, इट्स वेरी इजी. Now, for finding out rotational equilibrium condition, first select a point around which you will calculate torque. How you go with this selection? Just choose the point around which uh, that force is passing, which value you don't know. ठीक है, तो मैंने क्या किया, इस लाइन को मैंने ले लिया, और ये जो लाइन है वो कौन सा लाइन है आपका? दिस लाइन इज योर, this line is the line around which I am going to find out the. Okay, so why I have taken this line? Through this line, N1 is passing, and torque of N1 around this line will become 0. And also around this line, distances are clearly indicated. So let's take this point. You can take any other point, like you can take through this line, whatever you feel comfortable like. You can also take through this line. Okay, so it depends on you. Again, which point you take will also depend on how much practice you have done. Because if you have good practice of question, you will clearly see कि which point we should take. ठीक, तो चलो मैं इस पॉइंट को ली. अब यहाँ से टॉर्क कैसे निकालेंगे? टॉर्क ऑफ T2 विल बी व्हाट? टॉर्क कैसे निकालते हैं? जैसे T2 का टॉर्क अराउंड दिस लाइन, R क्रॉस A. टॉर्क का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? R क्रॉस A. So if I am going to calculate torque of T2 around this line, so R cross A. This is in which direction? This is in clockwise direction. ठीक है, so T2 into 1 meter. Distance R value is how much? 1 meter. Angle is how much? 90 degree. So RF sine 90. ठीक है, so this is T2 into 1 clockwise direction. Now for T1 torque, if you're going to calculate R cross F, R value is 2 meter, and this torque is in anti-clockwise direction. So T1 into 2 anti-clockwise. And torque because of mg will be in which direction? R cross mg. This is in which direction? Clockwise. This distance is how much? This is half. How it is half? Because this is the center of platform. Total length of platform is 3. So center will be at 1.5 meter from any corner. Okay? And if this is 1, then this distance must be 0.5. So this is the torque. Now, if this is in rotational equilibrium, net clockwise torque should be equal to anti-clockwise torque. So 2T1 should be equal to T2 plus mg by 2. So now we have three equations. Okay? So this is equation 1, this is equation 2, and this is equation 3. Now, if we have to solve this question, we need to just get the values out from here. So if I'm going to solve it, let's put the values and let's write the values. Let's first see equation 1 and 2. In equation 1, let's put the value of N1 from equation 2. So from equation 2, value of N1 is how much? T1 plus T2 minus mg plus T1. This will be equal to mg. So value of N1 I'm taking from equation 2 and putting it in equation 1. Now 2T1 plus T2 equal to how much? 2 mg. So if value of mg we are going to see, value of mg will be equal to how much? T1 plus T2 by 2. Let's put the value of mg here now. So then we will get the value of relation between T1 and T2. So this is your 2T1 minus T2. एक काम करो, यहाँ पे 2T2 लिख लो plus mg. mg value is how much? Or whatever you do. If we are not going to break it, तो चलो ऐसे ही लिखते हैं. ठीक है? Now let's see T2 plus mg by 2. mg is how much? mg is 2T1 plus T2 divided by 2 into 2. mg by 2 we are going to write. ठीक है? अब this is equal to what? 0. So 2T1 is equal to how much? 4T2 plus 2T1 plus T2 by 4. So this will become 8T1 equal to 5T2 plus 2T1. 8 minus 2, 8T1 minus 2T1, 6T1 equal to 5T2. So we needed to calculate what? We needed to calculate here, find the ratio of tension in left string. Left string means T2 by T1. Okay? So T2 by T1, if we are going to calculate, how much value we will get? T2 by T1 we will get as 6:5. So that will be your correct answer. Okay? I hope this is clear. Now let's move on to this question. There is a 1.5 kg block that is initially at rest on a horizontal frictionless surface when a horizontal force in the positive direction of x-axis is applied to the block. Okay? So surface is frictionless. Mass is how much? 1.5 kg. Now what is happening? Force is acting on it, and force acting is given as how much? 4 minus x squared. So at x equal to 0, is the initial position. So initially it is at x equal to 0. So initially force value will be how much? If you're going to put x equal to 0, force will be 4 Newton. If the block is going to move forward, x will increase, force will decrease. Okay, this is going to happen. The maximum kinetic energy of the block between x equal to 0 to x equal to 2. So at x equal to 2, if you see, force will become equal to 0. So force during x equal to 0 to x equal to 2, what is going to happen? Force is going to decrease from 4 to 0. Okay? But still, force is decreasing, but still the body is accelerating because force is acting on it. है ना? But accelerating का मतलब, मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि initial velocity was 0. Then, so initially it was at rest. Now force is acting, no matter of what magnitude it is acting now. So it will contribute to in its velocity, right? So from 0 to 2, what is going to happen? Initially, its velocity is 0. Its kinetic energy is what? It is 0. So to the long, force will act on it. What will happen? It will gain certain amount of velocity, right? So what will be the total work done or maximum kinetic energy of the block? तुम लोगों ने फॉर्मूला पढ़ा होगा वर्क एनर्जी थ्योरम में. वर्क डन बाय ऑल फोर्सेस इज इक्वल टू चेंज इन काइनेटिक एनर्जी. पढ़े हो ना? तो इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी इज 0. फाइनल काइनेटिक एनर्जी को तुम ले लो कुछ भी, काइनेटिक एनर्जी 1 या 2, के जो भी, whatever you take. So this is it. Now what will be the work done by force from 0 to 2? That we need to see now. So what is the work done? Work done we already know, F dot dx. Okay? And force is also acting in I cap direction. It means force is acting in this direction. Done. And displacement is also in this direction. So theta is 0. So cos 0 will become 1. Now this is f value how much? 4 minus x squared dx. So if you're going to calculate this, integrate it, what value you will get? 4x minus x cube by 3. X is varying from 0 to 2. If you're going to put the value, what value you will get? This is 8 minus 8 by 3. So this is 24 minus 8 by 3. So this is your 16 by 3. And this is your 5.33. So question is very simple actually. Force is acting. You are asked maximum kinetic energy of the block. So maximum kinetic energy will be when it will get maximum work done on itself, right? So for maximum work getting done, we will take displacement from 0 to 2. Okay. So that is. So correct answer will be what? This. Okay. Done. Now let's look at another question. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Let's wait for once. Now let's look at this question. Question is actually very easy. We needed to look at it more closely actually. There is a small ball falling vertically downward with constant velocity 2 meters per second, strikes elastically an inclined plane, moving with velocity this. The velocity of rebound of the ball with respect to the ground is. What will be its velocity, right? So if there is a wall and if there is a ball like this, so if it is falling perpendicularly to the wall, it will rebound with same momentum, right? So if its initial velocity is v, final velocity will be minus v, only with direction changed. Then, so in this case, what is happening? There is a wedge and ball is falling vertically down. It's not, it doesn't seem like falling perpendicularly to the wedge. It is falling perpendicularly to the ground, not to the wedge. But let's see, is it the case? Because here wedge is also moving. So let's first see what is the velocity of ball with respect to wedge. If you're going to calculate that, again, if we use here the relative concept, question will be very much easy. So let's use it now. Velocity of ball with respect to ground is how much? -2 j cap. And velocity of wedge with respect to ground is how much? 2 I cap. If you're going to calculate velocity of ball with respect to wedge, what we need to do? We need to subtract these two. So VBG minus VWG. Let's do it vectorially first. So VBG is in downward direction and minus VWG. Plus VWG is in this direction, minus VWG will be this direction. And both have same magnitude, 2 meter, 2 meter, right? So their resultant will pass somewhere from here, but bisecting these two. So from 45-degree angle, it will pass, right? So this angle will become 45. This is the VWZ, velocity, sorry, VBW, velocity of ball with respect to wedge. So this is VBW is making an angle of 45 degree with horizontal. है ना? This is what we are getting from the calculation. अगर इसको ड्रॉ करके देखा जाए, यहाँ पे अगर आप ड्रॉ करोगे, so this is suppose VBW. And if it is making an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal, it means this VBW is perpendicular to the wedge. Because perpendicular to the wedge will make an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal, because this angle is 45 given in the question, right? It means this ball is hitting perpendicularly to the wedge with respect to wedge. Means if we take wedge as the reference frame, then this ball is falling on it in perpendicular direction. It means what will happen? It will rebound. So ball is falling in this direction with velocity, how much? With velocity, what is the relative velocity? VBW का direction तो हमने देख लिया. Magnitude will be what? So resultant of 2 j cap and 2 I cap. Done. And it will be how much? 2 square plus 2 square का root over. So this will be equal to how much? 2 root 2. So with 2 root 2 meter per second, it is striking the wedge in this direction. So it will go on in this direction after reflection with same velocity, 2 root 2. So velocity of ball with respect to wedge after reflection is how much? 2 root 2. Magnitude, if I talk about, direction will be in this perpendicular direction away from the wedge, right? So this is this. But in the question, what is asked? Velocity of rebound of ball with respect to ground pucha. And this answer we are getting with respect to wedge. Now, we can calculate velocity of ball with respect to velocity of rebound of ball with respect to the ground. Velocity of rebound of ball with respect to wedge is how much? 2 root 2. And velocity of wedge with respect to ground is how much? 2. ठीक है, मैग्नीट्यूड अगर मैं लिखूं, अब दोनों वेक्टर को तुम बना लो. दिस इज इन दिस डायरेक्शन VBW, ठीक है, एंड VWG वाज इन हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन. डन. सो दिस इज इन हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन. हाउ मच? सॉरी, VBW इज इन दिस डायरेक्शन, ठीक है, एंड दिस इज इन हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन. दिस एंगल भी 45 डिग्री है ना, बिकॉज विथ हॉरिजॉन्टल दिस लाइन इज मेकिंग एन एंगल ऑफ 45. डन. सो दिस इज योर, अगर मैं फिर से बना दूं, अगर तुम लोगों को कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा है, तो लेट्स ड्रॉ इट अगेन. What is the direction of VBW? It is in this sense. And what is the direction of VWG? This is in this. We have to calculate what? We have to calculate VBG after rebound. ठीक है? So after rebound, if we are going to calculate this, how we will get this? If you are going to add this two. क्योंकि VBW means VB minus VW. VWG means what? VW minus VG. If we are going to add these two, we will get VB minus VG. So इन दोनों को आप add कर दो. Angle is 45. इसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या है? 2 root 2 है. इसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या है? 2 है. आप ऐड कर लो. If you are going to add it, how much value you will get? So just do the vector thing. How we add things vectorially? A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. ठीक है? So let's do it now. A square is how much? 2 root 2 का square. That is your 8 plus 4 plus 2 into 2 root 2 into 2. So root over 2 root 2 into 2ab cos भी करना पड़ेगा, cos 45 into 1 by root 2. So how much value we are going to get? This is your 12 plus how much value we are going to get? 2. So that is your 8 root 12 plus 8. That is root 20. And if you're going to solve for root 20, it will be 2 root 5. So the correct answer will be this. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now let's solve this question. There are equal volumes of two immiscible liquid of densities rho and 2 rho, and they are filled in a vessel as shown in the figure. Two small holes are punched at depth this and this from the surface of lighter liquid. V1 and V2 are velocity at these 2 points. We have to calculate this. How we'll do this? Just use the Bernoulli's theorem at 2 points. So for calculating V1, first point I'm taking as this one, and second point I'm taking as this one. So at these 2 points, let's write the Bernoulli's theorem. So if I talk about top point here, water velocity of water at this point will be what? 0, because it is in rest, it is in tank. Then, and here pressure will be equal to atmospheric pressure. And let's take this as h equal to 0, height as 0. So Bernoulli's theorem का expression क्या है? That is equal to P plus rho GH plus half rho V square. So for point 1 and 2, we need to write these two things. This is equal to क्या होता है? Constant होता है ना? So let's write at these 2 points. So क्या लिखोगे? फर्स्ट पॉइंट पे लिखती हूँ एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर P, rho GH, H is 0, so this will become 0. Velocity is also 0 at the top point, so this will also become 0. Now let's write at the second point. Second point पे pressure क्या होगा? It is at minus h by 2 height below. So what we are going to what you are going to write here? P naught minus rho GH by 2. Why minus? Because this I have taken at h equal to 0. If you're going downward, h will become negative. That is why. Now half rho v1 ka square. So p naught will get cancelled. This half will get cancelled. So v1 will be equal to how much? Gh ka root of. So v1 we have got. Now let's calculate v2. So for calculating v2, second point I'm taking as this, and first point same previous. Okay, so this at these 2 points, now I'm going to write the Bernoulli's theorem. So if you're going to write it at first point, P naught plus 0 plus 0. At third point, what will be the pressure? P naught. सबसे पहले pressure is decreasing in this length of liquid column, which density is rho. So minus rho GH. Again, it is how much distance downward from here? H by 2. So this will become minus 2 rho H by 2. Why I have written it separately? Because their densities are changing. Okay. And here half 2 rho V2 ka square. 2 rho, why? Because here the density of liquid is how much? 2 rho. So this, now this is equal to how much? Rho G यहाँ पे लिखो आप. So this is equal to 2 rho GH, and this is equal to 2 cancel होगा rho V2 square. So V2 is equal to 2GH root O. Now what is the value of V1 by V2? That is equal to root GH by 2 root 2GH. So this is equal to 1 by root. So correct answer should be what? It should be D. Okay. Now let's do this question. What is the question? 3 conducting spheres A, B and C are as shown in the figure. The radii of spheres are A, B, C respectively. A and B are connected by a conducting wire. The capacity of the system. Okay. So see here, there are 3 spheres, this, and this. So there is probability there can be 2 capacitors. One, this plate and this plate can make, and another, this plate and this plate can make. So 2 capacitors probability is here. But you see here, A and B are connected by conducting wires. So potential of this plate and this plate is equal. It means they can't make a capacitor because their potential difference is 0, right? So they won't store any charge in aggregate. Okay? So these 2 can't make a capacitor, क्योंकि capacitor के लिए आपने देखा होगा एक प्लेट का potential V1 होता है, दूसरे का V2 होता है, and we say their potential difference is something, and then we calculate charge on them Q equal to C. Okay? So their potential here the what is potential of these 2 spheres are same. Now this B and C can form a capacitor. Only this is the capacitor possible here. Okay. So what will be its capacitance? You have seen that if there are two spherical cells like this, if one has radius A, another has radius B, then capacitance is equal to how much? 4 pi epsilon naught AB divided by B minus A. And here what is it? What it is? B has a radius of B, C has a radius of C. So what will be capacitance of these two plates together? It will be 4 pi epsilon naught BC by C minus B. So correct answer will be what? This question is very simple. You just needed the formula. Now let's do this question. Question is not difficult. Let's see first. Consider a sphere of radius r which carries a uniform charge density rho. If the sphere of radius r by 2 is carved out of it, as shown in the figure, radius ratio EA by EB of magnitude EA by EB of magnitude of electric field E and EB respectively at point A and B. So we are calculating electric field because of this system. System is what? There was a sphere of radius r, but from it, a sphere of radius r by 2 is taken out. And charge density, volumetric charge density given is how much? 2. We have to calculate electric field at 2 points A and B. And we have to find out their ratio. ठीक है? तो देखो कैसे करेंगे. सबसे पहले we need one formula, that is if there is a non-conducting a sphere having charge density rho, then at any distance x, electric field value is how much? Rho x by 3 epsilon. I know this is the formula we know, but we don't require it here actually. How we can solve it? So we need to solve it by treating it as a two system. First system is this bigger sphere having a charge density rho. Okay? And second system is this small sphere having a charge density minus rho. Why minus rho I'm taking? Because if we are saying its charge density is minus rho, and if it is kept inside the bigger one, charge in this region will become how much? 0. And so this will become a cavity. Cavity can be treated as plus Q charge plus minus Q charge. Okay? What I'm telling, are you getting me? Let's say initially sphere was having a radius r and its charge density is rho. Now, a smaller sphere is taken out. It means what? It means we can say also, we can quote it in another way. Like we can say that here we are keeping a sphere which has charge density of minus rho. So if it has minus rho, already there were plus rho charge density. So if this will mix with this, total charge density in this region will become 0. So this cavity. So this cavity can be treated as a sphere of radius r by 2 having charge density minus. Done. So let's solve like this. Now electric field at point A will be what? Will be because of these two systems. So A is at the center of first system. First system में इसको ले रही हूँ, second इसको ले रही हूँ. So A point is at the center of first system. And at the center, if it is at center, then X is 0, right? A point is here. So X is 0. So because of first system, electric field at point A will be what? 0. So even A is 0. Now let's calculate E to A. Will be how much? It will be because of this sphere and A point is on its periphery, right? So it's that here. Now, what will be the value of charge inside it? Its charge density is rho. Let's say initially the larger sphere was having charge Q. So larger sphere had charge Q. What will be the charge in this smaller region? It will be charge density. Rho को हम कैसे लिख सकते हैं? Like this लिख सकते हैं. ठीक है? So charge in this smaller sphere region will be how much? This is rho into volume of this region. So its volume is how much? 4 by 3 pi r by 2 का cube. ठीक है? So if you're going to solve it, it will become q by 8. So this reason, this system 2 had charge how much? Minus q by 8, I will say. Okay, then only it will cancel q by 8 and it will become a cavity. Done. So minus q by 8. So if I simply write the magnitude of electric field at A because of system 2, it will be how much? Kq charge in system B, that is q by 8 into यहाँ से डिस्टेंस का स्क्वायर, क्योंकि इफ इट इज एट इट्स पेरिफेरी, सो फॉर्मूला विल बी k into charge contained inside it divided by radius का स्क्वायर. So radius is how much? r by 2. r by 2 का स्क्वायर कर. So how much will be the answer? It will be kq by 2r square. So this is E2A. Now we need to calculate EB. So EA मिल गया. EA कितना मिला हमें? KQ by 2r square, क्योंकि E1A is 0. Now let's calculate what? E1B. E1B will be equal to how much? Because of system 1 at B, what will be the electric field? KQ by R square. Because system 1 has a total charge of Q and B is at its periphery. So KQ by R square. Now E2B. So E2B, if you're going to calculate, for system 2, B point is outside it. At how much distance from its center is the B point? R plus R by 2. 3R by 2. Okay. What is the charge of system 2? Q by 8. So K Q by 8 into 3R by 2 ka whole square. So how much it is? KQ by, this will become equal to, how much value we are going to get? 8 into 9R square into 4. So this will become equal to KQ by 18R square. Okay. Over. Now E1B is this, E2B is this. What will be the value of electric field, net value of electric field at point B? Again, I have told you that this system 2 has a negative charge. So at B, electric field because of system 1 will be outward and because of system 2 will be inward. So they will get subtracted. What will be the EB? So chalo EB nikalte. KQ by R square minus KQ by 18R square. So this will be equal to how much? 17 KQ by 18 ka R square. This is EB. And what was EA? EA was KQ by 2R square. किसका रेशियो निकालना है हमें? हमें निकालना है EA by EB. तो आप एक काम करो, EA by EB कर दो. So KQ by 2R square into 17 KQ into 18 ka R square. So if you are going to solve it, this will become 18 by 34. So correct answer will be what? 18 by 34. That is your D. Okay. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. So this is your next question, right? What is the question? Let's first read it very carefully. Now, there is a conducting light string and that is wound on the rim of a conducting ring of radius r and mass m. Free end of a string is connected to ceiling. A vertical large conducting smooth plane is always tangent to the ring. Means there is a surface ceiling like this and there is a smooth vertical wall like this. And there is a string and through a string there is a ring like this. Okay? And this string is connected to the wall through a wire containing resistance R. And this is coming down. Okay? This is the question. Okay? Now, the terminal velocity attained by the center of ring is how much? How much terminal velocity it will attain? So suppose Karlo, its terminal velocity is how much? V. Now let's solve it. Let's look at it. Let's understand it more clearly. So what will happen here? See carefully, when this ring will come down, what will happen? What is the effect of it? So what will be the effect? Will there be motional EMF or not? That's the question here. So if you see carefully, if the ring will come down, what will happen? This area will increase. This area will increase, right? So what is the value of this area? Let's say this distance is X. Okay. So we need to see what is this distance. This is equal to 2R. Okay. So area of this whole thing is X into 2R, but area of this will be equal to how much? 2rx minus pi r square by 2. So this is the area. Done. And this will change because x will increase with time. Because more string will fall down, ring will go down. Okay? So area is going to change. Now what is the motional EMF? So motional EMF formula is what is flux V dot A of this rate of change of flux. So आप एक काम करो, flux को पूरा ही लिख लो. Flux is B into 2rx minus pi r square by 2. Angle between A and B will be 0 degree because magnetic field is into the plane, and also its area vector will be into the plane, right? So this is 0. Now D this by D. This is constant now. So this its differentiation will be 0. We need to concentrate on this part. So B 2R, B constant hai, bahar le lo. And this is your dx by dt. That will be the velocity. Okay? The rate with which x will change, that will be the velocity of ring. Because if a string is falling down by distance x, its center of mass of ring will also fall down by distance x. So this is equal to 2BRB. This is the motional EMF. And if this is the motional EMF getting generated, what will be the value of current? Value of current will be 2BRB divided by resistance. That is, now this is the value of current. ठीक है? And because of the flow of current, what is going to happen? जैसे आपने पढ़ा था straight wire के लिए पढ़ा था ना, if there is a straight wire like this and if it is moving with velocity v in inward or outward magnetic field, current will be generated, and that current, because of that current flow, force will act on this rod that will try to stop. Okay, so here also force will act on the ring. Now what will be force because of current flowing in magnetic field? So it is equal to IL cross B. And L is what? L is your length of the ring. So length of ring we will take as what? Length between these two portions, right? Because area is changing this way. Done. So this length, this portion of ring is coming into account. So this length we will take, and that is equal to how much? I into length is 2r into magnetic field B. And I value is how much? 2B. So 2 into 2r को 4 यहाँ पे लिख दो. 4 एक काम करती हूँ, स्टार्ट से ही लिख देती हूँ, ठीक है? सही से लिखते हैं so that we don't get confused. So 2BRV by R into 2R into B. What value we are going to get? So 4B square R square V by R. See, now this is like this. Now let's see what else forces will act. So if you're going to write the free body diagram of it, नीचे mg force will act, here tension force will act. This is frictionless, no friction is present, and also this force is present. Let's forget about its direction for now. First concentrate on कि if tension force is equal to what. So suppose कर लो, मैं भी just suppose करने के लिए बोल रही हूँ. Suppose this magnetic force is acting in the upward direction. ठीक है, suppose. So T plus FB is equal to what? This will become equal to 4B square R square V by R. Okay? I'm not going into direction because it's not required here. Just see here. T plus FB equal to this. Now tension force we don't know. And we need to, force T plus FB will be equal to mg, right? I've written here wrong. So let's equate it to mg. Now from here we can't find out the value of B because T we don't know. T we need to calculate. Just see here, if this ring is falling down with terminal velocity, it means with constant velocity. It means its acceleration is 0. Done. And if it is moving with constant velocity, it means there is also one meaning to it. Ki if it is coming down, it will also go in the circle, right? It will come down like this, like this. Okay. Done. And at every point, since this is falling down with constant velocity, here also velocity of point on the ring here also will be what? Constant. And if velocity is constant, it means what? It means its angular acceleration will be what? 0. Because if angular acceleration is not 0, its velocity, its omega will increase with time. And if omega is increasing with time, V equal to omega R आप पढ़े हो, V will also change. But here V is not changing. It's constant. It is falling down with terminal velocity, means alpha is. It means no net torque is acting on it. And if no net torque is acting on it, you just see here, torque of mg will be 0 around the center. Torque of tension force will be 0. सॉरी टॉर्क ऑफ टेंशन फोर्स क्या लिखोगे यहाँ पे, आर क्रॉस टी. And what will be the direction of magnetic force? Now let's see. So magnetic force is acting on this ring because of this length. So if you consider this length, magnetic force will act along the center because this length is symmetrically distributed around the center, right? So magnetic force will also pass through this line. Done. So torque because of magnetic force is also going to be zero. Then overall torque has to be zero because alpha is zero. Now torque only tension is creating, and since net torque is zero, torque because of tension should be also zero. So TR should be zero. R is not zero, so T should be zero. So here T is zero. That is my thing. Now FB को आप क्या लिखोगे, 4B square R square V by R equal to mg. So V equal to क्या होगा, mgr divided by 4B square R square. So value of n will be what? It will be 4. Done. So the correct answer will be what? It will be 4. Over. Now let's move on to this question. Again, this is a question of geometry. Nothing else you needed to do here. This question is very simple. There is a positive charge particle and it enters and comes out at 60 degree and 37 degree as shown from a uniform magnetic field, which is perpendicular to paper inward. Done. So everything is given here. This distance is 60 centimeter. Okay. Find the radius of curvature of the charge particle when it is inside. So here it is entering. Now just see it when it will enter into magnetic field. It will move in a circle, right? And if we have to draw the trajectory of that circle, what we do, we first, I have also taught you in the class, we first see what is the direction of force acting. QV cross V is the direction. And I have told you how to find the center of circle. Along the take the direction of velocity as x-axis. So this is positive x-axis and this will become positive y-axis. Now velocity is along I cap, magnetic field is along minus k cap, and I cross minus k cap is equal to how much? J cap. So velocity center will be somewhere here. It means it will make arc like this and its center will be somewhere here. Okay? Kuch aisa. So this will become radius, this will become radius. Diagram is not perfect, but this will look like this. Question is कि what will be the value of radius? इसके value निकालने हैं मुझे. So we simply need to use the geometry. तो देखो कैसे use करें. Let's see now. So I have drawn here the diagram. I have written everything because precisely to draw the diagram is difficult sometimes. So here see a trajectory I have drawn just now. So it is this. This was the center. Then if this is the x-axis, so this is your y-axis. Center was somewhere here. And if you're going to connect this center to this point and this center to this point, then this is our arc. Done. And this is radius. This is radius. So what I'm going to do, this is 37 degree. This is 37 degree. So this will become 53 degree. 90. This is 90 degree now. Q. क्योंकि velocity direction will be along the tangent and this is normal. So this pole is 90 degree. This will be 53. Similarly here, this is 60 degree and this angle is 90 degree. क्योंकि this is along the tangent and this is normal. So angle this should be 90. So this will become 30. Now from triangle OPA, if you're going to see OPA, okay? So this triangle, if you're going to talk about which angle triangle I'm talking about, this triangle. Okay? So what you will see, x by r किसके बराबर होगा? Sin 30. है ना? So r और 2x का relation मिल गया मुझे. Again, we have to calculate r. So we need to find out x. What is x here? X मैंने ये distance को लिया है. ठीक है? So x by r ये मिला. अब देखो बड़ा वाले triangle में चले जाओ. Which triangle now I'm going to consider? OCB. So this is OCB. This triangle. So in this triangle, if you're going to see x plus 6, 60 by r will be equal to 4 by 5. That is sin 53. जैसे x plus 60 by r क्या होगा? Sin 53. Sin 53 is 4 by 5. So this is. Now solve it. So 4r equal to 5x plus 300. ठीक है? And r equal to what? 2x. So यहाँ अगर मैं रखूँ 8x minus 5x equal to 300. So 3x is equal to 300, x equal to 100. So if x equal to 100, r will be 2x, that is 200 centimeter. That is 2 meter. So correct answer will be what? It will be 2 meter. Okay. So now let's do the very last question. Not of your paper, but of this discussion. So electric field at the center of uniformly charged hemispherical cell of surface charge density sigma is what? Done. So we have studied several formulas like if there is a hemispherical cell, what will be electric field at center and on the bound and on the boundary and also at any point outside the hemispherical cell. Also for many types of seeds we have studied, but we have not studied or you may not have or you may have studied formula for calculation of electric field because of semi uh, because of hemispherical cell of surface charge density sigma at its center. Okay, so let's calculate it. I will just give you the hint of how to solve it. Done. So this is a hemisphere. Done. So this has a certain area and charge is distributed on this area. So if this is not a half ring, right? This is a hemisphere. Just imagine it properly. Now, if we have to calculate electric field at this point, we don't have any formula, so we need to go with the derivation or we need to apply something that can give us answer. And we will have to go through the detour, we will have to go through long route, I must say. So let's do it now. Suppose Carlo, I'm taking like, if you consider a hemispherical cell, it will be made of what? If we are going to join rings of various sets, sorry, of various radius, it can give us what? Disk. And if you're going to bend the disk like this, that will become what? A hemispherical cell. It can become. If you're going to mold it in such a way, a disk को mold कर लो इस तरह से कि वो ऐसे घर जैसा हो जाए. It is possible, so we can made it into hemisphere. मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि हेमिस्फीयर के लिए स्मॉल एलिमेंट वी कैन टेक अ रिंग. तो सपोज कर लो यहाँ पे मैंने एक रिंग लिया जिसका रेडियस क्या है? रेडियस सपोज कर लो ये है, ये वाला डिस्टेंस तो कैपिटल आर होगा एंड दिस रिंग, चलो इसको मैं फिर से यहाँ बनाती हूँ. ठीक है. सो आई हैव टेकन अ रिंग एंड दिस रिंग इज कंटेन्ड इन दिस एंगल. ठीक है. ये देखो इस रिंग का सर्टेन विड्थ होगा रिंग का, क्योंकि दिस हेमिस्फीयर हैज अ सर्टेन सरफेस एरिया, सो इट हैज सम विड्थ, राइट? So it this width of ring is contained in angle how much? D theta. Now, सबसे पहले तुम्हें पता होगा कि if there is a ring and because of ring, if we have to calculate electric field at a distance x, suppose, and charge on the ring is q, then at this point, what will be the electric field value? It will be kqx by r square plus x square 3/2. ये तो पता है सबको, है ना? Similarly, here charge on the ring will be what? First, let's calculate that. Here surface charge density is given. So let's calculate what is the area of this ring. Since this ring has a width, it will have area. So small area of this ring will be equal to how much? 2 pi into radius of the ring into how much? This linear width, इसको dx ले लो, तो dx कितना हो जाएगा? rd theta, where r is the radius of this hemisphere. So this is rd. Now let's calculate the small r. The small r अगर आप calculate करोगे तो कितना आएगा? ये एंगल है, ठीक है? सॉरी, ये डिस्टेंस है, एंगल क्या होगा? ये d थीटा था, इसको आप थीटा ले लो. So if you see carefully, x by r को आप क्या लिखोगे? x by r को लिखोगे sin थीटा. ठीक है. So x by r is sin theta. So x is nothing but the radius of ring. So that is equal to r sin theta. तो यहाँ पे देख लो 2 pi r sin theta into r d theta. ठीक है. So r को यहाँ पे स्क्वायर कर देती हूँ, d theta. This is the small area. Now what will be the charge contained in this ring? So that will be equal to sigma into dA. So that you can now easily calculate. Now, what will be the electric field because of this ring at this point? So this point is at a certain distance y, right? So what will be the value of electric field here? So electric field value को अब आप क्या लिखोगे? Because of ring, you know the formula. K into dq लिखोगे. dq का value यहाँ से लिख सकते हो. K dq into y divided by r square plus y square 3 by 2. This will give you a small electric field because of the small portion of element. Okay, that is small portion of hemispherical cell. Then what will be the value of y? Y by r क्या हो जाएगा? Cos theta. So यहाँ पे y is equal to r cos theta. Now, if we have to calculate electric field with the whole region, you will integrate it. And while integrating, you need to take the limit. So how you will take the limit? Be careful. If you have to take the element here, theta will become this much, that is 90 degree. And if you are taking an element at the top, theta will become how much? Theta is angle made with the vertical, है ना? तो यहाँ पे अगर आप element ले रहे हो, तो angle made with the vertical will become how much? 0 degree. So theta will vary from either 90 to 0 vary कर लो या 0 to 90 vary कर लो. ठीक है? That will give you the electric field value. And if you are going to calculate it, you will get sigma by 4 absolute. So the value of n will be what? 4. So that is all for your AIET 4G test. Okay. I hope you all must have gone through the solution now and you all are clear about which question to solve in which way. But still, if you are getting stuck in any other question that I couldn't include in my solution video, you can contact our team and send us question. I will send you the solution. Okay. Thank you so much and all the best for your coming test. Bye-bye. Take care.